Good afternoon.
It is. Us two again.
Mate, we're just the dream. We've become the dream team, aren't we? We're just becoming the dream team. You know, I've had people call me lazy. Do you know what I mean? People have said, "Oh, he's lazy, Ped. He's this, he's that, he's the other." Mate, we're keeping down the fort, while other people just like take weekends away
to Wales.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't take weekends away. We're here.
No.
We're keeping it real. We're here on a Monday morning for everyone out there to make sure that they're
up to date with the Everton news.
Exactly. Yeah. See that? The way you finish my sentence? That's how...
We're like ant and death.
We're in sync. We're in... Not Timberlake in sync. But we're here. We're like, it's the dream team FC someone's put there. And I totally agree. Isn't it great on a Monday morning when Everton won?
Yeah. I thought it was going to be one of them games as well, you know, where Everton, you know, we have loads of chances and we do well, and then you leave the game and you're like, oh, we just took one of them chances, or you look at that like 3v2, it's like, but the last minute, couldn't really ask for a better ending. Would it be even better if they lost though?
Who cares about them? Isn't it boss when you play all your boss players and you don't experiment and probably lose because you have experimented for the future, but you don't, and you just play your best players and you win 1-0.
Yeah,
isn't it though? Saying this the other day, I was just saying, like, it's a really difficult balance, isn't it, to get it right? Of like, after the game, you're just so happy, aren't you, that we've won, and like, you could go, oh yeah, but we had a chance to play this play and that play, and it's like, but we won and I'm happy. Yeah. Forget the future. Who cares about the future? We've never worried about the future, and look how good we're doing.
Look how happy we are.
Look how happy we are. Look how this joy. It's only going to last for a little bit, but it's a joy that we are all loving. We're all loving. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think this game? You saw Doucoure's celebration. Do you think it's brought questions of whether Everton should sort of give him an extra year or 2 years or whatever?
I've always been of the opinion that Doucoure should get a new contract.
Yeah.
Right. Not on the current terms, no. But this is my argument. I've said this to Baz, I've said this to you. I find it very, very strange that a player that plays most games just walks out the door.
Yeah.
That's what I find strange, is that there's some players, obviously, and we've talked about them, that there's not much you can do about them. They're leaving. There's some players that you want to leave. There's some players on loan. But Doucoure is a player who plays week in and week out, and whether we like it or we don't like it, you're losing a first team player like that. And I find that very strange that the club would let that happen. If Doucoure has been offered a contract on lower terms and he doesn't want them, then I understand that. I also understand that Everton wouldn't give him what he's on now.
Yeah.
Totally get that.
Yeah, I think you look at sort of him and like Gay, and they're sort of similar but opposites in a way, because Gay is still like putting out, you know, top level performances week in week, and he's sort of a key player for our midfield. And Doucoure, he's still playing week in week out. Maybe his performance aren't as what they were at one point, but you can still see in this team why he is sort of vital. And that's why when me and you had that argument or debate or whatever, and you said, would you still play Doucoure? I think that's why, because, you know, these moments he is sort of key for Everton, sort of what they need. And it'd be a shame, say, if he left and went to a rival team, because I feel like what he brings to Everton is sort of key in a way. And I'm not saying he doesn't have his flaws, but the energy and stuff like that, it's just, you need it. Andy
Walker, check out the Toffee TV Instagram. That's all I'm saying to you, my friend. I've looked at your comments. Check out the Instagram. David Moyes said the other day in an interview, I think it was with Julia over on BBC Sport, go and check it out, that the contracts will be looked at once Everton was safe.
Yeah.
Now, I think that's nonsense, because contracts take ages. But what I think maybe what he was saying was the contracts it'll be made public what we're doing once we're safe. I'm sure Everton have already made decisions on all the players.
Yeah.
But it comes down to, they'll come out and they'll be public about them, about who's staying, because obviously they need the players to. Now, does he think Everton are they need a point, don't they? We need a point to be technically safe. So we need a point. So does he... Now, he seemed, in the press conference, he seemed very much like, yeah, it's done. So does he do it now? Does he start making the noises on players? Or do you leave it and make it like every single one of them decisions?
Yeah.
For me, as I said, I think personally Doucoure is worthy of another contract. You know, every time we talk about him and when I'm doing my starting 11 and all that kind of thing, it's we talk about of what he can't do, whereas the manager looks at it and goes, what does he do?
Yeah,
and he does bring loads of energy to the team. And in the last minute of a game, he's just raced from his own penalty box to get in the opposition penalty box and finish it, and everyone's made up with him. So they've got a decision to make, but I would find it very, very strange if a lad who plays him, week out, was let go.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
I think as well, if you sort of look at him, and Everton are going to have to buy a lot of players, I feel like, this window. And you look at someone who's in the team week in, week out, he's sort of a unique profile in a way. It's going to be hard to replace, I think, sort of like the energy, but also there's other like attributes. I think it just makes sense that you have him for like a year, maybe a year or two.
Yeah.
And then you start to slowly change him out. Same with Idrissa Gana Gueye. You don't really want to be relying on them after this contract. But for right now, I feel like Everton do need them just purely with how many players are going to be going off the door and how much money it's probably going to cost to bring replacements in. And then you look at the other positions like on the wing and stuff like that where we definitely need improvements.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, isn't it?
No, it of course it is, and you've just mentioned there, like the squad from the weekend: Pickford, O'Brien, Tarkowski, Brandt, Michalenko, Garner. They'll give him a new contract. Jimmy Garner's in his last year of his contract next year. Doucoure needs to sort his contract. Harrison, loan, and Jai, fine. Brozier, loan. So he'll date. And there's talk yesterday that all of our loan players are betting binned, basically.
Yeah.
Virginia, they haven't made the decision on. Patterson has got a few years. Keane will go. Alcaraz, no one's made a decision on him yet. Young, probably go. So there's a fair chunk of the team that was the squad on Saturday that needs sorting out, and a fair chunk of them will go.
I think as well, you look at that squad and you probably say you need improvements in other players and backups and everything elsewhere.
Exactly.
So it's replacing them and then replacing the players that you actually need.
Everton haven't got an infinite amount of money in the summer. There's still going to be PSR challenges.
Yeah.
Obviously, losing some of those players will open the door for wages as well, which is a good thing. Doucoure will definitely not be on the wages he's on this season, no matter what happens. So Everton have got to try and improve the team, but improve the quality of the squad. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you just let players leave. And people might say, well, you know, Alcaraz is a completely different profile, isn't he, than Doucoure? Doucoure is a leggy, stridey player who can get round the pitch, whereas we saw Alcaraz when he came on Saturday, when he picked the ball up and he ran at their, he ran at their defence and he opened the opportunity for a chance when we had like 4-on-3 and then Harrison put it over the bar.
Yeah.
He's that kind of place. We need different kind of profiles. So for me, I would definitely look to bring Doucoure in on another year. Definitely, yeah. I think that's got to happen. And as you mentioned, there's Idrissa Gana Gueye there. I mean, another really good performance, and the fact that again in the last minute he's pressing the centre back.
It's just,
and then that helps. And then McNeil presses Murillo. Who, do you know what? I might be in the minority, right? He does not impress me at all, that Murillo.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I've heard loads of noise about him this year, right? He does not impress me whatsoever.
He's just massive, isn't he?
I just like, number one, find a pair of shorts to fit you. But number two, I don't. You know, sometimes you see it, and some players you see, and some players you don't see. With him, I think, know what happens in football, right? You get this thing in football, it's like mass hypnosis, like Emperor's New Clothes, where someone says, oh, he's bossing, and then everyone goes, oh yeah, he's bossing. And I've watched him, I'm like, I'm not convinced he is boss. Yeah. I am genuinely not convinced he is boss. Like,
it goes to that thing that when viral on Twitter where it says every Premier League fan of a team thinks they've got a centre half who's one of the best in the league by far. And if you go through each one, I think Murillo's. Well, they've got Milinkovic as well, but Murillo's theirs. Where
I like the other fella.
Yeah.
I'm just not convinced. I'm not convinced by him at all. Anyway, McNeil took the ball off him, and
you know what? I've seen a different angle, and I think he meant the pass.
No, listen.
I didn't think. I thought he was going for him.
I was very complimentary about Dwight McNeil, but I get the ball. Moyes actually wasn't very complimentary.
Yeah.
Moyes was like, "Yeah, he got lucky." No, I think the ball was meant for Doucoure. Don't get me wrong.
I thought at first it weren't. Though.
I just don't think it was a. I don't think it was a particularly well hit pass, but I do think it was for him.
Yeah.
Like in the end, it's the perfect pass.
Yeah.
But I don't think a footballer sort of means to aim at a defender and hope the defender can't get his feet sorted like quick enough.
Yeah.
And it sort of like weirdly bounced along, didn't it?
Just looked odd when it.
So no, I think it was absolutely meant for Doucoure. I just think it was like slightly. Don't forget that was like his third touch.
Yeah.
Like he won the ball, took another touch, and then played the pass. So technically his fourth touch, I think it was. But listen, it got where it needed to go, and Doucoure finished it brilliantly. And again, that's all that matters, isn't it? That is all that matters.
And he's matched Lindstrom now. Well, he matched them before, but
I'm sure he. Yeah,
it was comeback.
Yeah, it was. It was obviously it was meant for Doucoure. It wasn't the most cleanly executed ball. But listen, it doesn't really matter. It got to him,
yeah.
And he's finished it brilliantly. And we've got exactly what we deserve, because if we came off the pitch and it was like, it's a 0-0 and Forest are doing well, you would have gone, yeah, but you know, this is one where you're like,
we had our chances.
We had our chance. We had a lot of the ball and we were let down in the final third by really poor finishing and poor decision making and the set pieces again. I mean, I just hope Charlie Adams gets used to sitting there wearing his golfing gear.
Considering how strong we were, I know Dwight McNeil's on the team, but you still think, like, the size of some of the players we've got, we could at least get.
It's that terribly It's that floated one to the back post.
One went straight out. It's just.
There's one. It was floated to the back. I watched someone yesterday. Only had it on for. It was Lazio. I put Lazio and Roma on, and I seen Lazio take a corner, and for a second I thought he'd taken Charlie Adam, because it was that horribly floated corner to the back post, but it went out. And I was just like, have these got Charlie Adam in?
Yeah. It's mental.
It's weird. It's like there's no variation. They're just really poor.
Because of how strong we were on them as well.
I don't get it. But no, we got our rewards, and we did. We took Forest, you know, they didn't have. What did they have? A couple of Alanga chances? Not Alanga, sorry. The other, Hudson-Odoi.
Yeah, they had that one. And then there's the video of Pickford saying he's all right foot, put him on his left.
Yeah. But, well, he is, isn't he? Yeah. I think, Jake let him come inside twice.
Yeah.
Too easily.
But both of them were like right at Pickford anyway.
Yeah. No. There was one, and then one where Pickford punched it. But they didn't do. Chris Wood was nowhere near ready to play in that game.
No. I thought the same about Alanga. I don't think he really did.
No, he didn't look fit. He looked like the manager looked like he panicked.
Yeah.
He really panicked.
I thought that, I know he was a bit annoying, but that Silva that they had on, I thought he was doing all right. He's being a bit annoying.
Bit of a rat, though.
No, that's what I mean, though. He's like the.
Why did he run into Branthwaite's chest?
Yeah, when he.
You know what I mean?
That was weird, that wasn't it? Where we had the ball, and they blew it for a head injury, and then they got a free kick.
It was weird.
It just made no sense.
It was absolutely weird. Yeah, but
I just thought he was being a little bit of a rat, and he was doing all right.
Yeah. Didn't do anything though, did he? Like, do you know what I mean? We didn't allow them any space in between, in behind us. The back four were really well aligned, and the way we played, James Garner thought had a good game. Adissa Garner-Gay had. I think what Adissa Garner-Gay's been allowed to do under Moyes is play his natural game, going
just sweeping sort of. And
this is where, do you know what? If we had a really good number 6, like a proper number 6. Wouldn't half open us up as a team, I think. Just like a proper, someone who can get, like, imagine someone of Doucoure's ability to get around the pitch, but like with a bit of a passing range, wouldn't half open us up, because Garner's being allowed, Garner-Gate's being allowed to do what he wants to do, what he loves to do. He loves to hunt down the ball, and he's been pigeonholed a couple of times when he's been at Everton. It's just like someone who sits in front of the back four, and he's not, and he's really, really good at it.
Yeah,
he's really, really one of the best at putting the tackles in. And again, another one I really loved on Saturday was the one he got booked for when we really should have had. That's when Better went down. I thought it was a foul. But the ball went halfway and the lad started running with it and he just grabbed hold of him and threw him on the floor. And it was like, that's what Jack Harrison should have done last week. You take the foul.
Yeah.
You take the foul and you take the booking. If it breaks up the play and it stops them, if it stops them from breaking quickly, that's what you have to do sometimes. And he did that perfectly. So, yeah, it was just nice to get one of those wins where, I mean, we obviously haven't won for a while. And it was starting to be like, the draws, it would have been another draw, and again you're just edging away. But to get that win, it doesn't half make it. And again, the weekend is all the results were perfect, weren't they? I mean, you know, Man United getting beat yesterday means we go above on goal difference. Spurs getting beat.
West Ham getting beat.
Yeah, but
have you seen West Ham's meltdown on Twitter? Their fans, because
over Moyes,
and then obviously they got Graham Potter and Evan Ferguson, and they were using it as like a bit of a dig towards Everton, saying like they chose us, and now they've done woefully. I mean, I think there's 3 points between us, but if you look at the difference when Moyes first came in, it's mental.
No, I know, but I mean, listen, it's early days for West Ham. The difference is Moyes came into a team that more suited his style of play at Everton. Potter's gone into West Ham and it's a completely different style of play than he wants to play. And he's going to need time to turn round those players and also bring in his own players. So I wouldn't like write him off and go, because it's horses for courses. They've got to back him, obviously. But it was a good weekend. It was a good weekend in terms of like we've gone up to. It would have been perfect if Chelsea got a late winner, because then that would have been. It would have all been done. It's done anyway, but you know what I mean. Then it would have all been done. But you know, as I said, it's other, you know, it's going to be in the next couple of weeks though, isn't it? It's going to be 13th to 17th. It's just going to be changing all the time
every week.
I'm not sure if anyone's going to get up to Palace.
No.
I think it's 5 points, isn't it? But you never know. But I think every week it's going to be changing. It wouldn't surprise me if bloody Wolves finished the highest of all of us. The run they're on, they've won the last 4, haven't they? But yeah, it was just a really, really, really nice win, which I said a few times that this was the game that worried me, because I genuinely thought they would be.
They looked poor, I thought. Yeah,
I thought they would be throwing the kitchen sink at us on Saturday, and they didn't. They looked really scared.
Yeah,
and the atmosphere once the kickoff started just went really quiet as well, as like, and that happens at Goodison, because people are so focused on watching the game that they forget. Yeah. Like, they forget to sing. And I've been at Goodison loads of times when that's happened. You get sucked into it, and every single play, and it's like it goes quiet, and people are like, "Oh, why is it quiet?" And it's because everyone is focusing, because everyone's so. Like, for Forest fans, they know this is their one big chance to get in the Champions League, and they know that this could dictate where their club goes for the next 5 to 10 years.
It's huge.
It's absolutely huge, and we've had these moments before. Sadly, recently we've had them at the other end of the table.
I was going to say, it's sort of like you either do what Newcastle done, where you get in the Champions League and they keep around that range, or you do what Everton done and you slowly start to fall down.
Yeah,
you didn't get in.
But even with us in the last 3 or 4 years, it's that thing of like, we know what staying up means compared to going down. Going down, you've seen it with Leicester. It can decimate everything at your football club. It's like a complete reset, but the worst kind of reset. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a reset minus 500, isn't it? It's horrendous. Whereas Forest have got a chance, and I've got a boss chance, and obviously with City winning, and then Newcastle winning yesterday, Villa winning, obviously Chelsea drew. You know, if Newcastle win their game in hand against Palace, I think they go third, don't they? And that'll push them down to fourth, sorry. And then City, you would think,
City are coming back as well.
City got the bit between the teeth. They looked very good.
Yeah.
After half an hour on Saturday, once they'd sort of calmed themselves down, although they are coming to the bear pit on Saturday, so, you know.
And Rodri's back soon, I think.
He came back to sort them all out. Kevin De Bruyne said he's injury free.
Kevin De Bruyne looked so good on the weekend.
Mate, I think there's talk, right, that he's actually been pushed out of City, and I think that's mad.
I know, because he said in that interview that he's like, he'd be willing to go to another Premier League team.
Moisey, go and get him.
Yeah.
Go and get him.
But on the weekend, everything just went through him. He turned it around on his own, essentially.
Those kind of players don't like come about that often. There's not that many players like him. And if I was City, I'd be like saying, listen, do you want to stay? Because I honestly thought when he said I thought he had a deal somewhere, like
MLS or something.
But it seems like City have pushed him out, and I think Saturday he proved how. What did he get? A goal and two or three assists,
and on the free scoring a free kick and everything. And he had a few on the post, and he was so good.
No, I think they've made a major mistake, and it wouldn't surprise me if he stayed in the Premier League just to like go. No.
Do you think it's an Arsenal transfer?
Imagine he went to Arsenal.
Like it is.
Imagine he went to Arsenal and he was brilliant and they won the league. It'd be like, I tell you who done it. Johan Cruyff done it. He done it. He went to. I think when he left Barcelona, he wanted to go back to Ajax, and Ajax wouldn't sign him, so he went to Feyenoord, and he won Feyenoord the league, and it was just a big two fingers for Ajax for not buying him back, and he never even celebrated. He just scored goals and just like, yeah, that's what I did.
Happened with Pirlo as well. They didn't want to give him a new contract, and then he went to Juventus and smashed it.
Yeah. Pirlo, yeah.
Oh, someone's Pirlo.
Yeah. I just said yeah about 12 times. We need 8 more subs for 98,800.
Wow.
Come on. Golf was good last night, wasn't it?
Yeah, was good golf.
Was good golfing.
Good golfing.
Why do people watch golf dress as golfers?
People go to the match with a footy shirt on.
No, it's different.
I think as well, aren't they like proper prestigious? So like you have to have like a certain attire and
you
stuff.
You do have to have a certain attire. I just don't understand why they dress as golfers to watch golf.
Just like the outfit. Just want to be amongst it.
Not having a go. I'm just asking. I think it's a legitimate question.
But is it not the same as just wearing a footy shirt to the match?
No, because footy shirts are like representing your club, aren't you? Who are you representing? Golf.
Yeah. Just loves golf that much.
Surely you're there. You're representing golf by being there.
He really loves Rory McIlroy.
What was that again? Say that again. Rory McIlroy.
McIlroy.
Yeah.
He really loves him.
It's good golf.
It was good golf.
Good golf. I enjoyed the golf.
Sad that Tommy Fleetwood didn't do too well.
See him though when he won. He was there, wasn't he? In the background going. No, I was happy. He was won. Like I was sad for Justin Rose.
Yeah.
But I was happy he won because that must have been such a burden to carry, and it seems like it's been the weight of him and for years. And in the last couple of years, actually, Rory stepped up and
he went through proper waves in that match as well, where he got a double bogey right off like the bounce, didn't he? And then he'd come back and then he'd fall back again. But I'm made up he's done it.
He's had to go with all the live golf stuff and all that. He stood up and gone against. Fane says, do people dress as sumo wrestlers when they watch that? Never been, but got me thinking.
Couldn't tell you.
There you go. Listen, I as I said, I'm not a. I can't. Wilmo says when I go to watch the diving, I always wear my cosy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Respective.
Fair play. Do you know when you go and watch? When you go to the Masters, they take your phone off you.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, take your phone off you.
It's quite cool, isn't it?
It is. I went to an event at Everton once and they took my phone off me.
What event?
It was an event for it was when we got Umbro back.
Oh, for kits.
And we were invited to see the kit. And the nice one, the nice blue one, and had the navy sock, like the dark navy socks, which were tremendous, by the way, which shows Everton can. By the way, all blue. When are people going to get into the heads that Everton all blue is just the greatest?
Nah, I like the white shorts.
No. Didn't you watch it on and just went, that's boss?
No.
All blue is just the best.
White shorts.
No, you're wrong.
Wait, before we move on from golf, I feel like you'll have a strong opinion on this. What do you think of the people when they hit like the drive?
Oh, I hate them.
Shout stuff.
Hate them. Americans shouldn't be allowed to watch golf. They should not be allowed to watch golf. Honestly.
And just shout like chicken curry or something like that.
Honest to God, they should shout chicken jockey and see what happens. Honestly. Popcorn everywhere. Honestly, Americans, stop it. Stop it.
I knew you'd have a strong...
Honestly, I don't watch golf, but I know. And that's the reason why I don't watch golf. It always happens in the Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
In the hole. Shut up. What do you think's going to happen? It's golf. It's called the gentleman's sport. Honest to God. No, Bob, we cannot wear amber shirts, can we? That's an away kit. You can't wear amber shirts. That's an away kit. Honestly. I
haven't got a silk shirt we could do on the back of the darts.
Have you ever? Yeah, exactly, yeah. That's what you should have. No one's basketball, golf. What? We'll go back to football in a minute, but people want to
big event.
Know what's basketball? Best films. Makes the best films.
Well, Happy Gilmore. So I think of.
You've got Happy Gilmore, you've got Tin Cup, which is a really good film, Kevin Costner. I'm trying to think of some. There's another one with there's two other ones. Hang on. There's one called, is it The Greatest Game? The Greatest Game Ever Played, right? It's a Disney film, right? And it stars, and it's based on a true story. And it stars what's his name? Shia LaBeouf. And it's basically about this poor kid who comes from an immigrant family, and it's the US Open, and he qualifies for it. And he plays against an English guy who's won it loads of times. And he goes up against him, and it's boss. It's like about class and about, who's allowed to play golf and all that kind of thing. And I think it's a true story. It's really good. There's quite a few. Golf just makes for really good sports films because it's slow and like methodical. So, hang on. Let me just give you a couple more golf films before we move on. So you've got The Legend of Bagger Vance. That's good. Matt Damon and Will Smith. It's not. I don't think it's strictly a true story, but it's got real characters in it. That's quite a good film. Caddyshack is good film. Trying to think what else, but there's been loads. It's like the best genre because it's slow and because you can like
build it like suspense with it and stuff.
Yeah. Trying to see what else. Can't really see any others, but anyway. Yeah, there you go. Tin Cup's really good though. Tin Cup's really good. Should watch that.
Tin Cup. More than Legend of Baz or whatever.
The Legend of Bagger Vance.
Bagger Vance. Oh, Bagger Vance.
As my nephew would say. Bagger Vance, but he'd say in an American accent. Happy Gilmore is amazing as well.
They're making a new one, aren't they?
Yeah, it's coming on Netflix soon, isn't it? Because he's got to deal with Because basically, so you know what happened? Netflix. This is what Netflix do. Netflix go through the algorithm and see what people are watching, and they double down on it. So they realise that people were watching Adam Sandler films, so they give Adam Sandler a load of money to just make films.
Fair enough.
So, he's got money for the second one. Carl, if you think the city is ours is boring, never watch like Goodfellas or Godfather or anything. It's called suspense. It's not action. It's suspense. It's building suspense.
Where are you up to on City of Art?
4. Just finished. Just on episode 4.
Almost.
The Last of Us starts.
I haven't watched the first one.
Oh, mate.
I know.
Come on.
You moaned at me for the other day.
Come on.
I've not played the game.
Yeah, but that's all right. See, Baz won't watch it because he's played the game and he's scared of the programme. That's all that about, even though he's played the game.
What do you mean he's scared of the
program? He's like zombies.
Really, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Ooh. Yeah, you've got to watch it, mate. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Like, it's genuinely top-tier television.
You know what, though? Where I'm up to right now in Breaking Bad's unbelievable.
Where are you up to?
So he's just got his own lab. Without spoiling it. Hank just shot the 2 twin brothers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. What a character. Hank? A moment, yeah.
Like season 3?
End of season 3.
Yeah. How many seasons got? 5?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, in the end, unbelievable. Nathan says, what absolute limbs at the away end? Yeah, that's an away end you dream for, isn't it? 94th minute winner. That's what people go to home and away every week for, is that moment. It was so refreshing to see the passing and movement. The pass from Pickford to Miko was a great outlet. That McNeil pass, chef's kiss. No, it starts next week, and I know you haven't watched the first series.
Which game?
Andor.
Oh, no.
Amazing. But you're not a Star Wars person, are you? So
I've watched the main
yeah,
six.
just stop when you say, "I just watched," and you can't think of what it is.
The main six.
No, the real answer is I've watched everything. If you can't say that about no. If you can't say that about Marvel and Star Wars, don't get into the conversation.
No, I know, but if you had to say what were the main ones, you'd say them.
All of them,
wouldn't you?
all of them, all of the shit films and all of the TV programs. It's the same for Marvel. If you don't get into it's fine. But don't get into I don't want to have if you don't say that, then I'm not interested in having a conversation with you. That's what I'm saying. That's fine then. No, that's all you have to say.
But I have seen them.
But Andor is like top tier Star Wars, but it's a little bit too intelligent for some people because they want flashy lightsabers. This is more like the politics of the place.
Fair enough.
What are you laughing at?
It's just you seem very passionate about this.
Yeah, because it's top tier level Star Wars, Ian.
Nice.
That's all you got to know. It's about the people. It's not just about like space wizards going zoom zoom. It's about like real stuff that happens. People are pressed by. This is what's happening in the real world.
But what's happening? Black Mirror. I've read.
This is what's happening out there.
Star Wars.
Andor is like top tier. But it's only you're real legit if you watch Andor. That's what I'm saying. Eddie, you're absolutely right. Andor is the best Star Wars TV series that's not animated. You're absolutely right. Right. Gary Ward, Hardy, Juan, hello. Jake Abbott says, afternoon, lads, fully deserved the points at the weekend. I thought that was brilliant. I think this team, with some pace and quality in wide areas, because they easily get Europe next season. What do you think about that, J-Mo?
Yeah, because I feel like we get to a certain point and we just get the same sort of results where we just feel a bit let down, or like the final pass is just a bit sloppy. So I feel like sort of we get chances. I think it'd be more worrying if we didn't get the chances. Yeah. So I think if you have players who have that quality and can sort of, I don't know, pounce on it, opportunities, it'd be way better.
For the majority of this game, you can see what Everton's problem is. It's so obvious what Everton's problem is. That we're just slow and ponderous in the final third, and we don't take our chances, and other teams do. And literally, Forest, all they've done all season. Forest now probably they will be, won't they? They'll be the team with the lowest possession in the Premier League, won't we? Because we've won the possession.
Yeah.
So they are a team that just waits for the opposition to make a mistake, use the physicality of Chris Wood, or draws teams up the pitch with possession and then gets in behind them with the pace. And that's all they do. And they've been very clinical.
Yeah.
And because they've been good at the back, that's got them to where it is. It ain't rocket science. This is Premier League isn't amazing. And when I say that, I'm not saying that who wins means that the people who win it won't be a good champion. But it's not a brilliant Premier League, is it?
No.
It's not brilliant. We've played we've taken 6 points off Palace. And sometimes you look at Palace and go, wow, they look amazing. And other times you go, they look terrible.
Even like the top teams though as well, like you don't look at as much as I know Liverpool have won the league, but they don't look great to watch.
No.
City,
they're effective.
No one's really worried about City. Chelsea, not really. Well, like the big, or so-called big top teams. None of them are like doing much in like Europe. Where like you're shocked. I mean, I know Arsenal did, but we'll see how that ends. But it's like a few years ago, you was worried about like Pep's Man City and Klopp's Liverpool and stuff, and they were really good in Europe and stuff, and they were scary. But right now, there's not really any scary.
You were scared of being like literally
like 9-0
dominated, like absolutely ran over. Whereas now you think you've got a good shape and you stay in it. You've got an opportunity, and the quality will probably might do you, but there's opportunities, and if Everton can get a decent forward in, a little bit of pace in the wide areas, then they've got an opportunity to climb that table. I think some teams massively overthink it, like properly overthink what they're doing in the Premier League, and it's allowed other teams to just like get in there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you've got to know as well. I think this is one of the big things. You've got to know how to navigate the season as well. You can't go too early and like look at Bournemouth, right? Bournemouth have gone, looks like too early.
Yeah.
Right.
It's all not.
But Villa.
Form table, they're awful now.
Villa are, because they've got a really good experienced manager, Villa are peaking. Okay, PSG beat them, but that was just pure quality.
Yeah.
But in the Premier League, they're peaking at the right time. They had a little wobble where they were trying to negotiate the Champions League and the Premier League, and they sort of sacrificed the Premier League for the Champions League, and then they went out and bought some players or got some really good loan deals in January, and those loan deals have come in and strengthened them where they were maybe getting a little bit tired. And the second half of the season, semi-final the FA Cup, still in the Champions League for a day, and they are going for that Champions League again, and that's a manager fully understand. Mourinho used to be the best at it.
Yeah.
Mourinho used to. Europa League, we talked about this last week, weren't we? In the Europa League, just used to send kids to the away games, win his own games. And we were talking about Koeman, weren't we, when he was at Everton? We were saying when Koeman was at Everton, he was in Europe, he was playing the same team in every game. And he had players that he could have put in the side.
Yeah, we were talking about class and stuff.
Yeah, that he could have put in the side for the European games to give them an opportunity to bed into the football club. And then other players, maybe like Wayne, could have just played the Premier League games or had little cameos. But he tried to play the same team every single game in the Europa League. So the form just carried on, and we were rubbish, and we got knocked out, and we were terrible. Good managers understand how to negotiate the Premier League and the season, because it goes in waves.
Yeah.
It goes in waves. 1 minute you can be flying high. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's even worse in like the Championship, but you got to know.
It's sort of what Pep Guardiola was great at, weren't it?
Well,
like they'd always start slow, but then the end of the season they'd just go and beat it.
Pep Guardiola, we were having all these conversations last week with me. Pep Guardiola sort of didn't care about like October.
Yeah.
And like November. But this year, he forgot to turn the tap back on. Do you know what I mean? And it just kept on going and going and going. But he'd make sure that his team peaked for the last 5 games of the season, because the last 5 games of the season would have the 2 or 3 needed to win, or no, couple to win to win the Premier League, hopefully the FA Cup, and hopefully the Champions League final. So his teams were peaking in April and May, because that's when you have to peak in football, and the rest of the time they were good enough.
Yeah.
But I feel like other teams just don't understand that. So this Liverpool team peaked in January, probably, or I don't know what the results were.
Like around that Champions League time where they were unbeaten.
Yeah. So they peaked way too early. And now they're stuttering over the line. Don't get me wrong, they've done enough. But they're out the FA Cup, but they're out the Champions League, and they got beaten in the Carabao Cup final. But don't get me wrong, that's brilliant that they're going to win the Premier League for them. That's absolutely brilliant. But that's what it's all about in football, knowing when to peak. And Pep learned that from when he went to Germany. And he peaked far too early with his Bayern team. And they should have won the Champions League. But because they were playing dead rubbers, because they'd already won the league for a month, they got knocked out. And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. It's almost like, I feel like Real Madrid do this. It's almost like they keep the I mean, not every year, because of Barcelona.
I reckon they're coming back, you know.
No, but it's it's weird, isn't it? Because it's like, it's almost like they go, well, if we keep this league alive, then means we've got something to fight for, and that'll help us over the Champions League. By the way, that Mbappe foul,
really bad,
that is one of the worst I've ever seen. That's something from the 70s, that.
I just don't get why he done it. I didn't watch the game, so I don't know if there was anything before, but it was like he really wanted to hit him. Yeah,
that was terrible. That was absolutely terrible.
Good job he's not out for the Champions League, though.
I don't think it really matters.
You think it's done?
I can't see Arsenal good enough in defence. I mean, if one thing about, I know they haven't got Gabriel, but one thing I would say about Arsenal is they're generally fine defensively. But don't get me wrong, I wouldn't discount Real Madrid by any means. You'd like to think Arsenal.
If Real Madrid scored early though,
what if Arsenal scored early though?
I just don't think they will. He scored 2 free kicks, didn't he?
That's negative thinking. Okay.
It'd be so interesting.
It will be, and that's why we'll all be watching. Bob says, with the upturn of results under David Moyes, what is the highest league position do you think we'll finish? In my opinion, 11th is the highest position we could achieve. I think 13th is the highest position we'd get.
Yeah. Maybe add a push if we
I just think the
12.
fixtures and the fact that there's a 5-point gap. And let's be honest, it's lovely sitting here right now going, we're 13th, but, you know, City's going to be tough at the weekend. I mean, for the first 20 minutes, I was like, yes, City, got back to these. But then watching them how they came back, not that we'll be as open as Palace by any means, but because there's very little, but there's like West Ham are 3 points behind us.
Yeah.
And they're 17th.
Yeah.
So it could all change. Spurs.
Palace have a game in hand as well. But
yeah,
Brentford are
it's Newcastle though, isn't it? It could be 17th, it could be 13th. I don't think any of the teams are getting above 12th. I think that's Palace's once again. Steve P says, is there even a debate about Gana Gay?
No.
He's been our best signing for the Managerial year, a combined 10 million for both stints, while selling for 30 million. And for me, he's still our best player, going strong at 35, and you'd think he was in his 20s. If you just watched him without knowing, his tackling numbers are insane. He's number 1 in the league, 16 ahead of Muniz in second. Or those having the season of who's having the season of his life for Palace. No, Steve, I'm not being. I'd give him like a rolling contract, like literally just be a year with an option, and then an option and another option and another option. Honestly, I'd just keep giving him the contract till his legs.
Why was he wearing weird leggings though?
He always wears weird leggings. Wears weird leggings every game. You never noticed before?
They were like bright blue though.
Yeah, because they have to match the kit.
But that kit's not bright blue.
But it was blue.
They were very noticeable.
We were wearing blue.
Not bright blue.
What come on them to do? Colour match it like it's Photoshop. The blue. What's going on? The youth of the day, honest to God, they want everything. Yeah, give this and everything.
I don't want anything in this situation. I just thought
Mark Max's team Jedi. Can we do a poll? Did McNeil mean the pass? No. We will give Dwight the benefit of the doubt. We will give him the benefit of the doubt. Eddie says the return of Dwight McMessi. Absolutely. Eddie also says the state is that Everton haven't lost. The stat. It's supposed to be the stat, but it says the state. The stat is that Everton haven't lost the game. Haven't lost. He says lost, not lose. A game in a game that Dukes has scored. Don't know how we get rid of a player with that stat. Stats, Eddie. If only that your grammar was as good as his stats. Josh says, played the top 3 and taken 4 points. Not too shabby. Barry says, I agree with you, Ped, about Doucoure. As a regular player, should get a new contract. But is there an argument that Jack Harrison, as a regular first team player and week in and week out, could be retained as a squad player and the deal's right? Leeds definitely looking to offload him. No, because we'd have to buy him. And that means actual cash. So
I think there's a bit more of a quality difference as well.
And that was one game. He's been dreadful. He's been absolutely dreadful, but he did play well on Saturday. But I wouldn't buy him. Buying a player is completely different than
just retaining him.
Yeah, than retaining him. Joe says, I'm not looking down anymore, just looking up to see who we can catch now. Ryan says, Ped, when are you going to start your own film review channel? Before or after the Toffee TV inevitably win the league next season? The Toffees, win the league next season. No, I wouldn't. I would never do me. Do you know what? I tried it in the past, and I've done other stuff. And me and Aaron used to do the Nerd Social, and not enough of yous watched. So it gets disheartening. So I think me and James are just going to do a little podcast. And you know what? If you just want to listen, you can listen. If you don't, you don't. But it'll be on this channel, and it's not going to. We're not going to lose any sleep over it. It'll be just having a nice little chat. Because people go sometimes, why are you talking about films, or why are you talking about TV shows, or why people probably even go, why are you talking about the golf? But it's Monday and we all watched the golf last night, so we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like Basil talk about the darts and stuff. So we are going to sit down and have a little chat about stuff. But what it does require of James, though, it does require of James that he needs to start watching more of the shows I'm watching. That's got to happen.
But
no,
I feel like films makes more sense.
But it's
TV shows, you watch about 85 and it's a commitment that
most
film.
I'm not asking, so I'm not going to say watch 85. I think you should be watching The Last of Us. I think that has to be done.
Okay.
I think you have to start The Last of Us, blitz through them, and get them to see.
Whoa, you said I'm not allowed to binge.
Didn't say binge, I said blitz.
Blitz and binge, same thing.
No, they're not the same thing.
What's the difference?
Binge is when you watch one and then watch the next one straight away and then watch the next one. Blitz is like, watch one today and watch one tomorrow.
That's not blitzing.
That's blitz.
Isn't
No,
blitz?
see, this is the difference, though.
Fast.
This is the difference. So you've got 24 hours to have a think about what happened. Otherwise, all you're doing is skimming. You're just skimming a book.
By binging something?
Yeah, I've said this a million times. Binging doesn't... When you've binged TV, right, 5 minutes after it's finished, it all disappears. The brain doesn't work like that. You have to... It's like... You ever read a book and read a page and then completely forgot what you just read because you weren't really concentrating on it? You were just saying that. That to me is what binge watching is, right? No, it is, though. It is.
No.
Listen, I'll have this argument all day long. Most TV shows that people binge, I guarantee within a few hours they do not remember what happened. And yet when I watch programs and I watch them, this is why I like watching TV over days.
But aren't you just binging a lot of series at once?
But
you're watching one after another after another.
But they're different shows.
Exactly, but still binging, isn't it?
It's not.
Yeah, because you're not stepping away and thinking about it. You're going on right onto the next.
I am still thinking about it. I've told you, my mind works differently than everybody else's.
No, that's not...
I'm sorry, but it just does. I have the capability to do that because my mind works differently. I'm not saying I'm better than anyone else. I'm just saying
AI
that my mind works differently. I have the capabilities to watch something and then watching. I can have 2 or 3 shows on the go. I
have the capability to remember stuff when I binge then.
But I just don't think.
There we go.
I just don't think
I
most
know
people
I do. I have that mind.
All right. Listen, I'm not inside your head. I can't say whether you do or you don't. But I just think most people. This is why I think some really good shows have been left behind. And I think number one is like Stranger Things is the one, right, where people have gone, I'll give it up after episode 2 of season 3. And I'm like, do you know, if you just like watched it week in and week out, like you suppose, like you should be, like Netflix should present it. It's not. I'm not. James, by the way.
What if they just didn't like it?
Right? Do you want me to? This reference will go over your head because you've never seen Good Will Hunting, have you?
I have.
All right. So I want to grab hold of you now and go, it's not your fault. It's what I want to do because it's not your fault. Streaming, Netflix, the way they do it is bollocks, right? But they don't care because all they want you to do is go from one season to the next season so quickly so they can... all they care about is people watching TV shows, right?
Yeah.
But I personally just don't believe that you get the most out of a TV show when you watch every episode back to back to back to back to back to back to back. I think we all, as human beings, we have to switch off and almost like replay the what happened in our heads and go through scenarios and be like, oh, I understand why he did that thing, the motivation to do that thing. I understand it's boss. It's like the other week when you came in here and you were crying like a baby because you didn't like the second to last episode of Severance.
You look at the ratings for that episode.
I don't care.
I've smashed it.
Because
I'm with the majority.
Because but that's the problem, because the majority of the people want to be spoon-fed now. Right? They want to be...
but you can just say, I didn't enjoy that.
But did you enjoy it in the context of the whole series by the time the series, understand? Did it have a place in the series?
It had a place, yeah, but exactly. I didn't enjoy the episode.
Would you have enjoyed the episode if the final episode had come right after it?
If it would have been like a little 5 minutes and goes, oh yeah, she done that thing, and then it moved on, I'd have the same
don't you
feeling.
think... All right. But don't you think in terms of like...
I didn't have to watch it inhale paint.
But don't you think her episode was really important to understand? her motivations of where she'd come from and why she was so pissed off. Don't you think now and again you have to stop and go, right, that means...
I accept it, but I can still say I didn't enjoy that episode.
Okay.
And I can understand the context. I needed that for the future, but I still didn't enjoy it. Okay. I could have done it differently.
I don't think they could have done it differently.
We could have had just a different...
And I think that's another thing. That's another thing. Someone who makes something goes, this has to fit with our vision. And if you don't like it, that's up to you. But it's important to the story. And I just think binging, there's too much of this now where people like want the whole story given to them in the first 3 episodes. It's like, no. And that I just for me, I don't get like binge watching. And that's all it is. I think it ruins TV shows. I think it absolutely ruins them. But again, that's my personal, honest opinion. I haven't watched Black Mirror, so... Colette says, I'd say binge is back-to-back watch, possibly an entire series. Blitz is back-to-back 2 or 3 episodes, then stop, then 2 or 3 episodes another night. Fair play, if that's what you want to do. Listen, I'm not telling anybody what to By the way, you know, when I say my mind, I'm not saying it's a clever mind, by the way. I mean how it's wired. I'm saying I am probably massively on the spectrum. That's what I'm saying. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, my mum's always thought I was on the spectrum. But I'm not saying, I'm just saying that's how my mind works, is that I am clearly wired differently than other people. And I can't find your original comment, my dear. But I'm just looking for it now. No, I have no idea where your original comment is. You've put something. Graham says, as a Forest fan, congratulations on Saturday. We were awful. Worst Forest performance in years, but you deserved it. You can't say all that and then say you deserved it. You didn't play badly. We played well.
Yeah, that's a thing with Everton, isn't it? That they never get... Pickford as well never gets anything.
No.
Like, commentators will never go, oh, that's a great save by Pickford. Yeah. It's always, oh, we should have put that a bit more to the right or something. It's so annoying.
Yeah. Watch about 1 million other teams. Watch Man United goalkeepers. I'm trying to find your original comment, and I can't find it. Was it the Mandalorian with the blue heart? Man, I love Mandalorian. Not going to be anymore though, only the film. Yeah, so going back to the original point, we're going to have... No, what we're going to have, right, is a...
original point, is this Everton or is this films?
No, this is the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Is we're going to need like a... we're going to have to like know what we're watching and stuff. So like we'll go, right, we're going to need to watch this week.
Yeah. So
that kind of thing. So I'll tell you what I did watch over the weekend. I watched a film called Black Bag.
I've seen it.
Right. It was like an... Do you know who Steven Soderbergh is?
No.
You ever watched Ocean's 11?
Yeah.
So he makes the Ocean's 11 films, right? So he's quite like, it's all like hip and stuff. So this film was about like, it was like a spy film, right? And it was like a sort of like whodunit. But it was like Ocean's 11, but without being funny.
So it missed the mark a bit.
So it was a bit like, no, but it wasn't supposed to be funny. So it was all very like hip and like they were all dead cool and stuff.
Yeah.
But they were all a bit too cool. So it was only an hour and a half. It should have just been a streamer film. I mean, I didn't go to pictures to watch it, obviously.
Oh, yeah, I've actually seen that. I've just seen the thing, yeah. No, I haven't seen the film.
Fassbender.
Yeah.
I've
seen it.
It's got like loads of well-known people in it, like.
Yeah.
There you go. Ryan says Ped. Oh yeah, that was the one I've just done. Jake says let's address poverty chance this season, by the way. Effing disgrace and should be condemned and acted upon clubs Premier League. Jake, you know my opinions on this and you know my opinions on Forest fans, and I am sorry if there are any Forest fans watching, but Forest fans are some of the worst for this chanting, and I'm sorry for a town that went bankrupt and a town that effectively allowed a certain prime minister to basically destroy this country because of what they did, that stuff is pathetic. I'll never understand. And it happens, by the way, it happens every time we play Forest, doesn't it? Them sing and sign on.
Yeah.
Every time. It's not an isolated instance. Every time we play them, they sing, sign on. And it just makes me laugh from a town that it's on its arse. Like, honestly, Forest, all you had going for you was you had a Hooters. And now we've got a Hooters, even though I think they're all going bust. That's literally all Nottingham had going for it was you had a Hooters. And apparently if you went there as a man on a night out, there was always this like urban myth that it was 6 women to every man there. So everyone used to go, it's got Nottingham boss night out, there's 3 women to every man or whatever it was. And that's all Nottingham. What else have you got going for you? And you feel like you can come out and say stuff like that. It's deplorable. It's absolutely deplorable. And I used to think there was like a link between Liverpool and Nottingham because of what happened at like Hillsborough. And obviously it's the anniversary for tomorrow. But when I hear that kind of stuff, I just think he's a fucking scum. And I know that's not all, by the way, that's not all Forest fans. But it's very, very noticeable every time we play is that you sing that song. And I don't know whether that happens when you play Liverpool. And maybe that's because that connection is there. But it's embarrassing. And I know someone who's got a big part of like the fan thing at Forest. And I find it strange that it's sort of allowed to happen, that you just don't police your own, you know what I mean? Because I think that's a big part of being a football fan is policing your own, is making sure that like certain chants aren't sung, and whether it be social media, making sure that the dickheads are put down. So there's no racism, there's no... By the way, last week at Everton, people booing the players taking the knee in the Gladys Street. I find that absolutely just mad. I find that absolutely mad. But it shows that there's still so much work to be done amongst our fan base, that people boo taking the knee. Like, the people who do that, you're a fucking embarrassment to our football club. Especially when, you know, you're all there on Saturday in 94th minute celebrating Doucoure, putting the ball in the back of the net. So, obviously, it's not just the Forest fans, it's fans everywhere. But I'll never understand how people from a town like Nottingham can be singing songs like that. I'll never ever get it. And you just need to sort yourselves out. Anyway, magical fluid process. We never go off topic on this show. Do you know why? Because there ain't a topic. So we never go off. I did see Borg and McEnroe. Stay. Gerald says Andor is espionage Star Wars, but it's also political Star Wars as well. Yes, booing the national anthem is fine. There's a massive difference between booing the national anthem and poverty chanting. The national anthem is about one fella or one old lady. It's not the national anthem. It's not our national anthem. That needs to be put in the bin. That's a song about a mythical person in the sky saving a person who just happens to have been born into the right family. Why do you want to be oppressed? Why do people want to be oppressed? Get a good national anthem which is about the people, not about one person. No, sorry, mate. I haven't dismissed Steve DJ. Ted wonders why no one wants to watch him do film reviews when all he does is dismiss everyone's opinions because he thinks he's right about everything. Steve, shut the fuck up, you absolute knobhead. You haven't got a clue. I haven't dismissed anyone's opinion. Enjoy not watching the channel, you prick. I haven't dismissed any of your opinions, have I? No.
I just feel like we went off on another tangent here.
Yeah. Booing the national anthem is perfectly fine. There you go. Why should anyone have to sing any national anthem? Why should we have to conform to something somebody tells us? I'll never understand that. Absolutely never understand that. Weird. Blue Keely says, love the countdown to 100,000. Let's get there before the end of the season. Any plans for when you get there? Don't know. James will come up with some. Just have like party poppers.
That's it, just party poppers.
Just party. No, just party. Like, no, we'll do the thing like in Severance. We'll get the marching band. Yeah. Be amazing.
Baz has to dance like Milcher.
Yeah. Right. Catch you all later. Bye. See you. Bye.